Imagine this with me. Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world where work is no longer defined by limits. No shortage of ideas. No lack of opportunity. No scarcity of hope. For centuries, human beings believed that life was about fighting for survival. That work was about making sure we had enough food on the table, enough money in our pockets, and enough security to survive the next day. Scarcity shaped our minds. Scarcity shaped our businesses. Scarcity shaped how we looked at the future. We were taught to think there is not enough. Not enough jobs, not enough resources, not enough chances to succeed. And so, we competed fiercely. We fought for positions, we guarded our knowledge, we held back from helping others because we believed their success would mean our loss. But think carefully, is that really true anymore? Is the world today still about scarcity? Or is it slowly moving into a world of abundance? I believe the future is not about scarcity. I believe the future is about abundance. And this is the most important shift we must understand. Look at technology. Look at the internet. Look at artificial intelligence. These are not tools that take away opportunity. They are tools that multiply opportunity. 30 years ago, if you wanted to start a business, you needed a lot of money, connections, and access. Today, you only need an internet connection, an idea, and the courage to start. That is abundance. Think about education. In the past, if you were born in a small village with no good school, your future was limited. You did not have access to knowledge. But today, with one smartphone, you can learn anything. You can learn coding. You can learn languages. You can learn business. You can even learn how to change your life completely. That is abundance. Think about communication. In the past, sending one message across the world would take weeks. It was expensive. It was difficult. But today, you can talk to anyone, anywhere, instantly, almost for free. That is abundance. So why do we still think with the mindset of scarcity? Why do we fear that jobs will disappear, that opportunities will shrink? The truth is this. Scarcity is a mindset. Abundance is also a mindset. The future of work will be shaped by which mindset we choose. If you believe in scarcity, you will see machines as enemies. You will see automation as a threat. You will see every change as danger. But if you believe in abundance, you will see machines as helpers. You will see automation as freedom. You will see change as opportunity. Let me give you an example. When electricity was invented, many people said it would destroy jobs. They said candle makers would lose their business. They said people who carried oil lamps would lose their income. But what happened? Electricity created industries nobody could imagine. It created jobs nobody had dreamed of. It gave birth to whole new possibilities. That is the power of abundance. The same is true today with AI, with automation, with digital platforms. They do not close doors. They open millions of new doors. But only those who believe in abundance will walk through them. Now imagine yourself tomorrow morning. You wake up and instead of thinking, how do I survive today? You think, what can I create today? Instead of thinking, what job can I keep safe? You think, what opportunity can I explore? Instead of asking, what if I lose? You ask, what if I win? This is the real difference. The scarcity mindset is about fear. The abundance mindset is about imagination. And imagination is the future of work. In the old world, success was limited. If you became successful, maybe I could not. If I had more, you had less. But in the new world, success is not limited if you succeed. If you create, I can also create. If you grow, I can also grow. The pie is not fixed anymore. The pie can expand. That is abundance. So let us reimagine. Let us imagine a future where young people in small towns can build global businesses from their laptops. Let us imagine a future where education is free, open, and available to everyone. Let us imagine a future where collaboration, not competition, drives progress. Let us imagine a future where human creativity is the most valuable resource. Not oil, not money, not machines. That future is not far away. That future is beginning right now, and it starts with how we think. The scarcity mindset says, protect what you have. The abundance mindset says, create what does not exist yet. The scarcity mindset says, the future is dangerous. The abundance mindset says, the future is exciting. The scarcity mindset says, I must fight to keep my share. The abundance mindset says, we can all win together. Which mindset will you choose? Because this choice will define your future. This choice will define the future of work. And let me tell you one more thing. The people who will win in the future are not the strongest. They are not the richest. They are not the most powerful. The people who will win in the future are the most adaptable. The ones who are willing to learn. The ones who are willing to change. The ones who are willing to dream big. So I ask you again, imagine waking up tomorrow in a world without scarcity. A world where opportunities are unlimited. A world where work is not about survival, but about creation, about meaning, about impact. That world is waiting for us. It is not a dream, it is a choice, and that choice is in your hands. The shift in mindset for thousands of years, human beings live with one thought in their minds. There is never enough. Never enough food. Never enough shelter. Never enough money. Never enough security. This belief shaped everything we did. It shaped how we worked. It shaped how we built businesses. It shaped how we treated each other. Scarcity was not just reality. It became our mindset. We grew up learning that life is a competition. If I win, you must lose. If you gain, I must fall behind. If you succeed, then I am left with nothing. This was the thinking of scarcity. In villages, people fought over land. In markets, people fought over customers. In offices, people fought over promotions. Scarcity told us, protect what you have, because there may not be more tomorrow. But let us stop and ask, is that still true today? Is our world still defined by scarcity? Or is it possible that something has changed? Look around you. Technology has changed everything. Opportunities are no longer locked in one place. Resources are no longer limited the way they were before. Knowledge is no longer reserved for a few. The real scarcity is not outside. It is inside. It is in the way we think. It is in the way we imagine the future. And this is why the shift in mindset is the most important change we must make. Think of it like this. The old mindset says, our jobs are limited, protect yours. The new mindset says, opportunities are unlimited, create yours. The old mindset says, our knowledge is for the elite. The new mindset says, and knowledge is for everyone, everywhere. The old mindset says, I must compete with you. The new mindset says, I can collaborate with you. This shift is not small. It is revolutionary. When we lived with scarcity, we built walls. We said, this belongs to me. You cannot have it. When we live with abundance, we build bridges. We say, let's share. Let's build together. Let's grow together. Let's grow together. Let me give you an example. In the past, if you wanted to sell a product, you had to open a shop. You had to rent a building. You had to hire staff. You had to invest large sums of money. Only a few people could do it. It was scarce. Today, with just a smartphone, you can sell to the entire world. You can reach customers in Asia, Africa, Europe, America without leaving your home. That is abundance. But only those who shift their mindset will see it. If you are still thinking in scarcity, you will say, it's too difficult, too risky, too crowded. If you think in abundance, you will say, this is a chance like never before. The shift in mindset is the bridge between fear and courage, between holding on and letting go, between surviving and thriving. Let's take another example. Education was scarce. Only the rich, the powerful, or the urban elite had access to quality teachers and books. If you were born in a small town, your opportunities were small. Scarcity limited your future. But today, education is everywhere. Free online courses, digital classrooms, global knowledge libraries. A child in a remote village with a smartphone can now access the same information as a student in the best university. That is abundance. But here is the key. The child who believes in scarcity will not use it. He will say, it's too hard. It's not for me. I don't have the chance. The child who believes in abundance will grab the opportunity, learn, and create a new life. The difference is not technology. The difference is mindset. This is why the shift matters. Because the future of work is not determined by resources alone. It is determined by how we see the world. Let's talk about business. In the past, companies believed success was about protecting secrets, guarding knowledge, and defeating competitors. Scarcity thinking. But the most successful companies today are those that share open source platforms, collaborative ecosystem, partnerships across industries and borders. They are proving that abundance grows when we connect, not when we divide. Scarcity tells us there is not enough room at the top. Abundance tells us the top is wide and it can expand endlessly. Scarcity tells us work is about survival. Abundance tells us work is about purpose, impact, and meaning. Scarcity tells us be afraid of change. Abundance tells us embrace change, because change creates new doors. Now think about yourself. How often do you operate with scarcity in your mind? How often do you think, what if I fail? Instead of what if I succeed? How often do you think, oh, I don't have enough instead of I can create more air? This is the invisible barrier. This is what holds so many people back. Not lack of resources, not lack of technology, not lack of opportunity, lack of imagination, lack of the abundance mindset. So the first step in reimagining the future of work is not learning a new skill. It is not adopting a new technology. It is not even starting a new business. The first step is shifting your mindset. When you shift your mindset, everything changes. Problems become opportunities. Failures become lessons. Competition becomes collaboration. Scarcity becomes abundance. Let me give you one more example. Think about music. In the past, music was scarce. If you wanted to hear a song, you had to buy a record or go to a concert. If you could not afford it, you had no music. Today, with one click, you can listen to millions of songs. Abundance. But what happened? Did musicians lose their power? No. They gained more ways to reach fans. They gained global audience. They gained new opportunity. The ones who adapted to abundance thrived. The ones who stayed in scarcity thinking were left behind. The same will happen with work. Jobs will change, industries will evolve, but opportunities will grow if we shift our mindset. So let me repeat, the future is not defined by scarcity. The future is defined by how we think. Do we see limits or do we see possibilities? Do we protect the past or do we create the future? Do we act from fear or do we act from courage? This is the real challenge. This is the real challenge and this is the real opportunity. The shift in mindset is the foundation of abundance. It is the key that unlocks the future of work. It is the difference between those who survive and those who thrive. And it begins not tomorrow, not next year, but right now, inside your mind. So I ask you today, will you keep the old mindset of scarcity, or will you embrace the new mindset of abundance? Your answer will not only define your own future, it will define the future of work itself. Technology is an enabler for many years. Whenever people heard the word technology, they felt two emotions, excitement and fear. Excitement, because technology promised progress. Fear, because technology threatened jobs, security, and the familiar way of life. This fear comes from the mindset of scarcity. Scarcity thinking says, if technology takes over, there will not be enough work left for humans. Scarcity thinking says, machines will replace us and we will lose everything. But this is not the truth. The truth is, technology is not a destroyer. Technology is an enabler. It is not here to reduce opportunities. It is here to multiply them. Think of history. When the printing press was invented, many scribes lost their jobs copying books by hand. People were afraid. They said, this machine will destroy our profession. But what really happened? Books became abundant. Knowledge spread everywhere. Literacy increased. New industries were born. Publishing, journalism, libraries, education. One technology created millions of opportunities that nobody could imagine before. The same story happened with electricity. When factories became powered by machines instead of human labor, people were afraid. They thought, we will lose work, machines will take everything. But what happened? New industries appeared. Appliances, lighting, telecommunications, transportation. Electricity created far more jobs than it replaced. Technology was not a thief. Technology was a partner. Now, in our time, We are seeing the same fear with artificial intelligence, automation, robotics, and digital platforms. People say robots will take our jobs, AI will make us useless. The future will have no work for humans. But ask yourself, is this fear based on reality, or is it based on the old mindset of scarcity? Look deeper. Technology is not replacing humans. It is replacing repetitive tasks. It is taking away work that is boring, dangerous, or mechanical. And in doing so, it is freeing humans to do what only humans can do: create, innovate, imagine, care, and connect. Think about AI. AI can analyze data faster than us. It can process millions of numbers in seconds. It can recognize patterns, but AI cannot imagine. AI cannot feel empathy. AI cannot understand the human heart. This is where we come in. Technology handles the heavy lifting and humans focus on what makes us human. That is enablement. Consider healthcare. In the past, the doctor could only see a limited number of patients. There was scarcity in medical advice, but with technology, teaching, eye diagnostics, wearable devices, millions more people can access care. Doctors can now treat not just hundreds, but thousands, even millions. Technology does not remove the doctor. Technology amplifies the doctor. Consider education. Before the internet, good teachers were limited to classrooms. One teacher could teach 30 or 40 students. Today, one great teacher can teach millions online. Through videos, digital platforms, and interactive tools, the reach is unlimited. The teacher is not replaced. The teacher is empowered. That is technology as an enabler. Consider business. In the past, starting a company required massive investment. Factories, offices, employees, distribution networks. Barriers were everywhere. Scarcity limited entrepreneurship. But today, with technology, anyone can start a business with a laptop and an internet connection. E-commerce platforms, payment gateways, social media marketing, all of these allow one person to reach the world. Technology is enabling dreams that were once impossible. Think about farming. For thousands of years, farming was hard labor, unpredictable weather, poor tools. Lack of information made it risky. Scarcity defined their lives. But now with technology, drone sensors, weather prediction, farmers can grow more food with less risk. They can feed more people. They can earn more income. Technology enables abundance. But here is the challenge. Technology itself is neutral. It can be used to create abundance, or it can be misused to create inequality. The difference lies not in the machine, but in the mindset of the people using it. If we use technology with scarcity thinking, we will hoard it, limit it, and fear it. If we use technology with abundance thinking, we will share it, expand it, and multiply its impact. Let's go deeper. Why do people fear technology? Because they see it as competition. They think, if the machine does my work, I will lose my place. But this is not how we should see it. Technology is not competition. Technology is collaboration. It is a tool. It is a partner. It is a multiplier of human potential. Take language translation as an example. In the past, if you wanted to communicate with someone in another country, you needed to translate it. This was slow, expensive, and limited. Scarcity again. Now, with instant translation apps, you can speak to anyone in the world instantly. Did this destroy translators? No. It opened up global communication. It created new businesses, new friendships. Technology enabled connection. Look at creative industries. People once feared that digital cameras would destroy photography, that streaming platforms would destroy music, that ebooks would destroy authors. But what happened? More people are taking photos today than ever before. More music is being shared, discovered, and enjoyed worldwide. More writers are publishing books, reaching global audiences without waiting for a traditional publisher. Technology gave the power to creators. It made creation abundant. The future of work, then, is not about resisting technology. It is about embracing technology as our partner. It is about asking, how can this tool expand my ability? How can it open new doors? How can it help me serve more people, create more value, and build a better future? Let me give you another perspective. When people fear technology, they focus only on the jobs that will disappear, but they ignore the jobs that will appear. Who could have imagined 20 years ago that we would have app developers, social media managers, drone operators, cybersecurity experts, AI trainers, digital marketers? None of these jobs existed before technology, but they exist today because technology created them. And tomorrow, there will be jobs we cannot even imagine right now. That is the nature of abundance. So instead of asking, what will we lose? We should ask, what will we gain? Instead of saying, the technology will take my job, we should say, technology will transform my job. Instead of fearing, machines will replace me, we should believe machines will enable me to become more. This is a shift we need to make. From fear to confidence, from scarcity to abundance, from competition to collaboration. Technology is the great equalizer. It gives the small player the power to act like a big one. It gives the weak the chance to become strong. It gives the silent a voice. It gives the dreamer a platform. It enables everyone if we are willing to use it with courage and imagination. But remember this, technology alone is not enough. A tool is only as powerful as the person who holds it. The future belongs not to technology, but to people who know how to use it with wisdom, with creativity, and with an abundance mindset. So let us stop fearing machines. Let us stop worrying that technology will destroy us. Instead, let us see it for what it truly is. The greatest enabler humanity has ever created. It is not here to limit us. It is here to free us. It is not here to make us smaller. It is here to make us bigger. It is not here to reduce opportunity. It is here to multiply opportunity. Technology is not the end of human work. It is the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter of abundance, creativity, and possibility. And it is up to us to write it. Human creativity and innovation for centuries, human beings have built civilizations, industries, and societies with one tool above all others, our creativity. It is not our strength that makes us unique. It is not our speed. It is not even our intelligence alone. What makes us truly different is our ability to imagine what does not yet exist and then to make it real. From the first fire built by our ancestors to the pyramids of Egypt, to the internet, to space travel, every milestone in human history has been born out of creativity and innovation. When resources were limited, creativity created new ways. When challenges were overwhelming, innovation built new paths. When scarcity seemed to define us, imagination turned it into abundance. This is why in the future of work, human creativity will not disappear. It will become more important than ever before. Machines can calculate. Machines can replicate. Machines can even simulate. But machines cannot dream. They cannot feel the spark of an idea. They cannot turn imagination into invention. They cannot look at a blank canvas and see the vision of a masterpiece. Only humans can do this. Let's look at art. Technology can produce images. It can even mimic styles. But art is not only about patterns and shapes. Art is about meaning, about emotion, about the human experience. When you look at a painting, you do not only see color. You feel the heart of the artist. You feel the story. You feel the message. This is something no machine can replace. Now look at science. Technology can analyze data. It can discover patterns hidden in numbers. But the spark of discovery, the question of what if, that comes from human curiosity. It was human imagination that looked at the sky and dreamed of flying. It was human creativity that saw illness and dreamed of medicine. It was human innovation that saw distance and dreamed of communication without barriers. Every leap forward has come because someone dared to imagine what others could not see. Think of business. Technology can optimize a system. It can improve efficiency. But true innovation, the idea that disrupts an industry, the concept that changes how the world works, this always comes from human minds. It was creativity that turned online shopping from an idea into a trillion-dollar industry. It was innovation that turned ride-sharing apps into global solutions. It was imagination that saw empty rooms and created a global platform for travel and hospitality. Behind every machine, behind every platform, behind every breakthrough, there's always a human story of creativity. Now let us ask, why is creativity so important for the future of work? The answer is simple. Because the world is changing faster than ever before. Technology evolves every day. Industries transform overnight. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. In such a world, the only skill that guarantees survival is not memorization, not repetition, not obedience. It is creativity. Creativity allows us to adapt. It allows us to see opportunity where others see problems. It allows us to design new solutions when old systems collapse. It allows us to innovate when the future is uncertain. Let me give you an example. When the pandemic hit, millions of businesses closed their doors. Scarcity became reality. But what saved many companies? Creativity. Restaurants moved online and started delivery systems. Schools transformed into virtual classrooms. Entertainers shifted from live shows to streaming platforms. Human creativity turned crisis into opportunity. This is the power we must carry into the future. But creativity is not only for artists, scientists, or entrepreneurs. It is for everyone. A teacher who finds a new way to explain a lesson is being creative. A nurse who discovers a faster way to comfort patients is being creative. A worker who improves a small process on the factory floor is being creative. Creativity is not limited to geniuses. It is the natural gift of every human being. And here lies the challenge. For too long, our systems have killed creativity. Schools rewarded memorization instead of imagination. Workplaces valued obedience instead of innovation. Society taught us to follow the path instead of creating one. We grew up being told, oh, don't make mistakes. Don't take risks. Don't dream too big. This is scarcity thinking applied to creativity. But the future demands the opposite. The future says, experiment, explore, innovate, imagine. The future rewards those who think differently, those who are not afraid to fail, those who are bold enough to create something new. Look at the most successful people in the world today. They are not the ones who repeated the past. They are the ones who imagined the future. They are the ones who asked, why not? They are the ones who built ideas out of thin air. That is the power of creativity. Now let's connect creativity with innovation. Creativity is the idea. Innovation is the execution. Creativity imagines the airplane. Innovation builds it. Creativity dreams of the internet. Innovation wires it. Creativity envisions abundance. Innovation makes it possible. The two work together. Creativity without innovation remains a dream. Innovation without creativity remains a machine. But when creativity and innovation come together, the impossible becomes possible. So how do we make sure creativity thrives in the future of work? First, we must change how we see mistakes. Scarcity thinking says, mistakes are failures. Abundance thinking says, mistakes are lessons. Every great invention came after thousands of mistakes. The light bulb was not born in one attempt. It was born after endless failures. Innovation is not the absence of failure, it is the persistence through failure. Second, we must create environments that encourage imagination. If workers fear punishment, they will not innovate. If students fear judgment, they will not create. If people fear rejection, they will not share ideas. Abundance requires safe spaces where creativity can breathe. Third, we must embrace diversity. Creativity thrives when different minds come together. Different cultures, different experiences, different perspectives. Innovation happens when ideas collide, when words mix, when people collaborate. Scarcity isolates. Abundance connects. Fourth, we must value not just efficiency, but originality. Machines can be efficient. Algorithms can be fast, but originality is human. And originality is priceless in a world of abundance. Fifth, we must remember that creativity is not limited by resources. Some of the most innovative ideas were born in scarcity. People with no money, no power, no access still created breakthroughs. Because creativity is not about what you have, it is about how you think. The future of work, therefore, is not only about technology, not only about skills, not only about systems. It is about unleashing the creativity of human beings. It is about empowering people to innovate, to experiment, to imagine. Ask yourself this: what is the one thing that only you can bring to the world? What is the idea inside you that no machine can produce? What is the story, the invention, the dream that only your imagination can see? This is where your true value lies. Not in competing with machines, not in repeating the past, but in creating the future. So let us move forward with courage. Let us embrace our creativity. Let us nurture innovation. Let us stop asking, what if technology replaces us? And start asking, what can we create with technology by our side? Because when machines handle repetition, humans are free to imagine. When algorithms process data, humans are free to dream. When technology enables abundance, humans are free to innovate. The future of work will not be defined by scarcity of jobs. It will be defined by abundance of ideas. It will not be defined by what machines can do. It will be defined by what humans can imagine. And in that future, the most valuable resource will not be oil, money, or even technology. The most valuable resource will be human creativity. The endless ability to turn nothing into something, to turn ideas into reality, and to turn the impossible into the possible. Redefining work and value. When we talk about work, most of us still think of it in terms of survival. For centuries, work has been something we do to earn a living, to pay bills, to keep food on the table, and to support our families. The value of work was measured almost entirely by money. You work, you get paid. If you don't work, you don't survive. This way of thinking is deeply rooted in the mindset of scarcity. But today, and especially in the future, we must learn to redefine what work means and how we measure its value. Work should no longer be seen only as a transaction. It should be seen as a platform for purpose, growth, and contribution. If we continue to view work only as survival, we miss the chance to unlock the abundance that comes from aligning work with meaning. Imagine if people chose work not because they had to, but because they wanted to create, contribute, and grow. That shift is what the future demands. The biggest change we must accept is that the value of work will no longer come only from how many hours we put in. Machines and automation are taking over repetitive tasks, and they will continue to do so. This is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. If machines can handle the jobs that drain our energy, then human beings are free to do the work that truly matters. Work that requires empathy, creativity, leadership, and imagination. That is where the true value lies. Think about teaching. For many years, we considered teaching as just another job. Oh my God. But when you really look at it, a teacher shapes the future of countless students. Their value cannot be measured by salary alone. The same is true for nurses, artists, researchers, or anyone whose work inspires and uplifts society. The future of work means recognizing that value is not only economic, it's also social, emotional, and cultural. In the old mindset, value was often determined by scarcity. If you had rare skills or controlled limited resources, your value was high. But in the new mindset of abundance, value comes from how much impact you can create and how much you can contribute to others. The more knowledge you share, the more opportunities you open up. The more people you lift, the more valuable you become. Let's imagine a future where someone wakes up and says, I'm not going to work today just to earn money. I'm going to work to solve a problem. This could be a problem in healthcare, in education, in the environment, or in technology. The real reward comes not from the paycheck, but from the difference made. And interestingly, when people focus on solving meaningful problems, money usually follows. That is the paradox of abundance. When you chase value beyond money, money comes naturally. Redefining work also means rethinking success. For too long, success has been defined by titles, positions, and salaries. But in the future, success will be about how much you've contributed to society and how much you've grown as a person. Did your work bring hope up? No. Did it create opportunities? Did it inspire change? These will be the new measures of success. This doesn't mean money becomes unimportant. Of course, financial stability will always matter. But the point is that money should not be the only measurement. When we attach value only to money, we shrink the meaning of work. But when we attach value to impact, purpose, and contribution, we expand the possibilities of work. Let's take an example from technology. Many young entrepreneurs today are building startups not only to earn wealth, but to address real-world problems. Some are working on renewable energy, others on access to clean water, others on education platforms. These entrepreneurs are redefining work. For them, work is not just a job, it is a mission. Your measure of success is not just profit, but how many lives they improve. Another important shift is how organizations will value employees. In the past, employees were often seen as resources, tools to get the job done. But in the future, organizations that succeed will be the ones that see employees as creators, thinkers, and partners. They will value not just what an employee can do, but who they are, what they bring, and how they can grow. Workplaces will become spaces of learning, innovation, and collaboration, rather than factories of production. Work will also become more flexible. The traditional 9-to-5 structure will not define the future. Instead, people will create value by working in ways that align with their skills, energy, and purpose. Some may work remotely, others may work part-time while building projects, and some may balance multiple roles at once. This flexibility is not a weakness, it is a strength. It allows people to contribute where they are most effective and passionate. Redefining work also challenges us as individuals. It asks us to look inward and ask, what is the purpose of my work? Am I working just for survival? Or am I working to contribute something meaningful? This question is not easy, but it is necessary. Because in the future, the people who thrive will be those who align their work with their values and passion. Work must also be seen as a journey, not just a destination. It is not about finding one perfect job for life. It is about continuous evolution, learning, growing, adapting, and contributing in different ways throughout our lives. Each stage of life may bring new opportunities and new definitions of value. The beauty of abundance is that it allows us to reinvent ourselves without fear of scarcity. When we redefine work, we also redefine dignity. Every type of work, no matter how big or small, has value. In a scarcity mindset, only certain jobs are respected, usually the ones with high salary. But in an abundant mindset, dignity is found in contribution. A farmer who grows food, a cleaner who ensures hygiene, a nurse who provides care. These roles are just as valuable as the executive in a large office. True abundance means honoring all contributions. This shift in how we define work will also change education. Instead of training people only for jobs, education will prepare people for problem-solving, creativity, and lifelong learning. Schools will encourage students to explore their passions, not just memorize answers. Universities will focus not just on degrees, but on experiences that build adaptability and resilience. Education will become less about producing workers for industries, and more about nurturing creators for society. The future of work is not something distant. It is already happening. People are leaving traditional jobs to pursue passions, building online businesses, creating digital art, teaching skills on global platforms, and contributing to communities in new ways. The tools of abundance are already in our hands. We only need to shift our mindset. The challenge is letting go of the old definitions. Many people still believe that work is only valuable if it pays well or looks prestigious. But those who dare to redefine work will lead the way into abundance. They will inspire others to see work not as a burden, but as a gift of purpose, creativity, and contribution. Redefining work and value is not just about the future. It is about creating a present that is meaningful. If we start today to see work as more than survival, we open the door to a world where abundance is possible for everyone. And when we all begin to align work with impact, purpose, and growth, we won't just be working for ourselves. We will be working for the future of humanity. Collaboration over competition for a long time, the way we have been taught to approach work, business, and even education is through competition. From our earliest years in school, we are ranked against one another. We are told there are limited seats, limited jobs, limited opportunities, and that in order for us to win, someone else must lose. This competitive mindset is the reflection of scarcity. It is the belief that the pot is small, and the only way to succeed is to take a bigger piece of it than others. But in the future of work, this model will no longer serve us. The future is not about fighting over small slices of a pie. It is about baking bigger pies together. That is the essence of collaboration over competition has its place. It can push people to work harder, innovate faster, and deliver results. But when competition becomes the only lens, it creates fear, division, and short-term thinking. Collaboration, on the hand, opens the door to abundance. When people bring their strengths together, they don't just add value, they multiply. 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in collaboration. It equals 10 or 100, or even more. Let's imagine 2 companies working on the same problem, developing renewable energy solutions. If they compete fiercely, they may each protect their research, guard their secrets, and try to outdo one another. But if they collaborate, sharing knowledge and pooling resources, the results could be faster, cheaper, and more impactful for the world. Instead of duplicating efforts and wasting energy, they could accelerate progress. Collaboration turns scarcity into abundance because it unlocks possibilities that competition keeps hidden. The same principle applies to individuals. In the old world of work, people competed for promotions, salaries, and recognition. Colleagues often saw each other as rivals rather than allies. But in the future, success will depend on how well we can collaborate. Employers will value people who can work across teams, across cultures, and across industries. The ability to build bridges will be more powerful than the desire to build walls. Collaboration is not just about working together, it is about creating together. It is about recognizing that each person brings unique strengths, experiences, and ideas to the table. Where one person is weak, another may be strong. Where one has knowledge, another may have creativity. Collaboration means weaving these differences into something larger than any individual could achieve alone. We see this shift happening already. Look at the rise of open source projects in technology. Instead of guarding software like a treasure, developers around the world collaborate openly, sharing their code freely. This has led to some of the most powerful innovations in history, tools that billions of people now use daily. This is abundance in action, knowledge shared, value multiplied. In education too, collaboration is transforming learning. Students no longer just compete for grades. Many are working together on projects that address real-world problems. They are learning that collaboration teaches more than competition ever could. It teaches empathy, communication, problem-solving, and the ability to see from different perspectives. These are the skills that the future of work will demand most. But let's be clear, collaboration does not mean the absence of experts. It does not mean everyone gets the same result regardless of effort. What it means is that we shift from I must win, you must lose, to we can win together. In collaboration, excellence thrives because people feel supported, not threatened. They can share ideas without fear of judgment, experiment without fear of failure, and innovate without fear of being outdone. The world we are moving into is too complex for competition alone. The challenges we face, climate change, inequality, healthcare, education, are too big for any one company, one government, or one individual to solve. These challenges require collective intelligence, collective action, and collective courage. Collaboration is the only way forward. Think about how the scientific community responded during a global health crisis. Researchers, governments, and organizations shared data, collaborated on trials, and built on one another's findings. This kind of global cooperation produced solutions at speeds that would have been impossible if everyone had worked in isolation or in competition. That was a lesson in abundance. When humanity collaborates, the impossible becomes possible. In business, collaboration will also redefine partnerships. Companies will not only compete in markets, they will collaborate across industries. A healthcare company may work with a tech company, a university with a startup, an NGO with a corporation. These unlikely partnerships will create breakthroughs that no single entity could achieve alone. The winners of the future will not be those who fight the hardest to stand alone, but those who learn to stand together. Even within organizations, collaboration will reshape culture. The old model of rigid hierarchies, bosses giving orders, workers following, will give way to networks of collaboration. Leaders will not only manage, they will facilitate, inspire, and empower teams to collaborate effectively. Workplaces will be less about individual performance and more about collective outcomes. Collaboration also changes the way we view resources. In a competitive world, resources are hoarded. In a collaborative world, resources are shared. Think about knowledge. In the scarcity mindset, people protect knowledge as their edge. But in the abundance mindset, knowledge grows when shared. Every time you teach someone, your knowledge does not shrink. It grows deeper. Every time you share an idea, it can spark 10 more ideas in others. This is why collaboration requires trust. Without trust, collaboration collapses. Trust allows people to share openly, to believe that their contributions matter, and to know that others will not take advantage of them. Building trust is not easy, but it is essential. In the future of work, trust will be the new currency. The most successful organizations and individuals will be those who earn and maintain trust. Of course, collaboration has challenges. It requires humility, because you must admit you don't have all the answers. It requires patience, because working with others takes time. It requires openness, because you must accept ideas that are different from your own. But these challenges are worth it, because the rewards are far greater. In the coming years, collaboration will even redefine competition itself. The future will not be about a competition or collaboration. It will be about a collaborative competition. This means organizations and individuals can still strive to be the best, but they will do so in a way that lifts everyone, not tears others down. Think of sports. Teams compete fiercely, but they also collaborate within their teams. That balance of striving for excellence while supporting one another is what the future of work requires. For individuals, collaboration means shifting from asking, "How can I win?" to "How can we win together?" It means being generous with your skills, your time, and your ideas. It means building networks not just for personal gain, but for shared growth. The more people you lift, the more abundance you create for yourself as well. Imagine a workplace where instead of fighting for credit, people celebrate shared success. Imagine communities where businesses don't just compete for customers, but collaborate to uplift entire neighborhoods. Imagine a world where nations collaborate more than they compete, where global problems are solved not by rivalry, but by unity. This is the vision of abundance that collaboration can unlock. The journey from scarcity to abundance is not just about technology or innovation. It is about mindset. And the shift from competition to collaboration is at the heart of that mindset. When we collaborate, we prove that abundance is not just possible. It is natural. The world is full of ideas, talents, and opportunities waiting to be connected. Collaboration is a bridge that makes us real. So, as we reimagine the future of work, let us remember this truth. Competition may push us to go faster, but collaboration will take us further. And in the future we are building further is what we need. Resilience and lifelong learning in the future of work. One of the most powerful qualities a person can have is resilience. It's not about never falling. It is about always rising after the fall. It is the ability to adapt, to recover, and to grow stronger in the face of change. For centuries, people could live entire lives with a single skill or profession. You could be a farmer, a tailor, carpenter, or a teacher. and you could do that same job until retirement. But the world today is different, and the world of tomorrow will be even more so. Technology, globalization, and innovation are transforming industries faster than ever before. This means that resilience and lifelong learning are no longer optional. They are essential. Resilience begins with mindset. If you believe that change is a threat, you will fear it. But if you believe that change is an opportunity, you will welcome it. The difference between those who survive and those who thrive in the future of work is not just skill, it is mindset. A resilient person says, well, I can learn again, I can adapt again, I can rise again. Think about the many industries that have been disrupted in just the last 2 decades. Entire businesses have failed while others have risen in their place. Travel agencies gave way to online booking platforms. Video rental stores disappeared while streaming services grew. Factories once filled with workers now run with machines and robots. At every stage, there were people who lost hope and people who reinvented themselves. The ones who reinvented, who chose resilience and lifelong learning, found abundance. Lifelong learning is the natural partner of resilience. To be resilient, you must be willing to learn continuously. The skills you had yesterday may not be enough tomorrow. But the ability to learn, quickly, openly, and effectively, will always keep you relevant. In the future of work, the most valuable workers will not be those who know everything, but those who can learn anything. We must move away from the idea that education is something we finish in our youth. Education must become a lifelong journey. Formal schooling may end, but learning never does. Every change in technology, every shift in industry, every new challenge is an invitation to learn. If we accept that invitation, we remain strong, adaptable, and valuable. Resilience also means embracing failure as a teacher. In a scarcity mindset, failure is a disaster. It means you are finished, out of the game. But in an abundance mindset, failure is simply feedback. It tells you what didn't work so that you can try again differently. Some of the greatest innovators in history faced countless failures before they succeeded. What made them different was resilience, the refusal to give up, the decision to keep learning and improving. Lifelong learning is not limited to technical skills. It also includes emotional intelligence, creativity, leadership, and communication. Machines may take over repetitive tasks, but the human ability to connect, inspire, and lead will always matter. A resilient person does not just learn new tools, they also learn new ways of thinking, new ways of relating, and new ways of creating. Organizations of the future will value resilience and lifelong learning as much as they value technical skills. Employers will look for people who can adapt to new roles, who are curious, and who are not afraid of change. Training will no longer be a one-time event. It will be a continuous process. Companies will create cultures of learning where employees are encouraged to grow, explore, and evolve. Resilience also requires flexibility. In the old world of work, people could expect stability. In the new world, stability comes not from one job or one skill, but from the ability to adapt to many. They may move from one industry to another, from one role to another, from one project to another. Each change is not a setback, but an opportunity for growth. Lifelong learning is also becoming easier than ever. With digital platforms, online courses, virtual workshops, and global communities, anyone can learn anything at any time. Knowledge is no longer limited to classrooms. It is everywhere. The only question is whether we are willing to keep learning. In an abundant world, those who stop learning stop growing. But those who continue learning unlock unlimited possibility. Resilience also connects to collaboration. When you are resilient, you do not see challenges as reasons to compete destructively. You see them as chances to work with others, to share knowledge, and to build solutions together. Lifelong learning thrives in collaboration because every person you meet has something to teach you. Every project you join is an opportunity to grow. Resilience also means preparing for the unknown. The truth is, no one can predict exactly what the future of work will look like. Jobs will appear that we cannot even imagine today. Some industries will vanish while others will be born. But resilient people do not need certainty to move forward. They carry confidence not in knowing the future, but in knowing they can adapt to whatever the future brings. Lifelong learning is also about curiosity. Children are naturally curious. They ask endless questions, explore everything, and learn without fear. As adults, many of us lose that curiosity because we are afraid of looking foolish. But in the future of work, curiosity is a strength. The people who ask questions, who explore new paths, who are not afraid to admit they don't know, will be the ones who discover abundance. Resilience also builds strength in communities. When individuals are resilient, they inspire others around them. They show that setbacks are not the end. They create cultures of courage, where people support one another through challenges. In the workplace, resilient teams will outperform fearful teams because they trust each other to keep moving forward, no matter what. Lifelong learning also brings joy. Work does not have to be boring or routine. When you are always learning, every day brings something new. Every project becomes a chance to grow. This makes work not just a duty, but an adventure. In the future will be those who see learning not as a burden, but as a gift. Resilience requires balance too. It does not mean ignoring stress or pretending to be strong all the time. It means managing challenges with wisdom, taking care of your health, and seeking support when needed. A resilient worker is not one who never feels pressure, but one who knows how to handle it, recover from it, and keep moving. Lifelong learning is also the path to leadership. Leaders of the future will not be those who know everything, but those who are humble enough to keep learning and strong enough to keep going. They will lead by example, showing their teams that growth never ends. In the journey from scarcity to abundance, resilience and lifelong learning are the foundations. Scarcity says, there is no way forward. Abundance says, there is always a way forward, and I can find it if I keep learning. Scarcity fears change. Abundance embraces change. Scarcity gives up. Abundance rises again. So the question for all of us is simple. Are we ready to be resilient? Are we ready to learn not just for a diploma or a job, but for life itself? Because the future of work belongs not to those who are ready to keep learning the longest. Resilience and lifelong learning will not just help us survive the future. They will help us thrive in it. They will give us the courage to face change, the strength to recover from setbacks, and the wisdom to grow stronger every day. And when we embrace them, we will see that the future of work is not something to fear, but something to look forward to with hope, confidence, and excitement. As we stand at the edge of this new future, we must remember one simple truth. Scarcity is not our destiny. Abundance is. For too long, we have lived with the belief that opportunities are limited, that resources are finite, that success is reserved only for a few. But the future of work asks us to let go of that old story. It asks us to imagine a world where value comes from purpose, where technology empowers creativity, where collaboration with resilience guides us through change, and where learning never ends. The journey will not be easy. There will be challenges, disruptions, and moments of doubt. But if we hold on to resilience, if we embrace lifelong learning, if we choose collaboration over competition, and if we redefine what work truly means, we will build a future that is not just sustainable but abundant. So let us not step into tomorrow with fear. Let us step forward with courage, with imagination, and with a deep belief that abundance is possible for all of us. The future of work is not something happening to us. It is something we are creating together. Scarcity is behind us. Abundance is ahead of us. And the choice to build it starts now with each of us.